Welcome back. Chris here with Man Rose Woodworks. Today, we're going to take all this, build one of these. Stay tuned. Alright, so today all we're doing is we are taking about $25, $30 worth of material and making one of these guys. Just a simple planter for the front porch, balcony, backyard, deck. I know we've made I showed you how to make the larger planter boxes and they were very popular. I had a lot of great comments on them, a lot of input, a lot of questions. So I decided to dial it down and try something different, a little smaller, because I have an event coming up and I am going to donate one of these along with some other smaller projects as a gift basket for a raffle. So I wanted to throw something convenient together that they could take with them with other products and projects for the fundraiser. That being said, let's get to it. All right, so this one here, I had some more footage, but I had the focus completely out of whack. This was me, the first piece here, I'm cutting the side pieces, the trim pieces, at 11 5/8. I cut up 4 boards because I was going to rip them down in 3 sections. And this here is the actual length, the height of the planter box itself was cutting 8 pieces at 14 inches tall. And after I got those pieces cut out, now I go over to the table saw. And this is where I just divided into 3 equal sections. Seeing as each of these planks is, 5.5 inches wide, I went ahead and split the difference for 1 13/16, and I measured that from the fence to the center of the saw blade. So once I rip down all 4 boards, that gives me 12 trim pieces at 11 5/8 long by, they're just under 1 13/16. Obviously, once the kerf of the saw takes out the material. So you can see this is pretty straightforward setup here. Very minimal material, minimal labor, and this you could realistically do with a handsaw. A lot more work, but it can be done because cedar is a relatively soft wood. So that's all I got right now. Let's get back into the action. Make them flush on both top and bottom. And we will get 4 screws in to hold these in place. 4 of the 1 inch. And this just makes it easier. If you wanted to keep these screws out of sight, I would say yeah, I don't like that. Hold that thought. We'll try these out. I'm not liking those on the outside, so what we will do, take 2 of these, set our side piece on top. This is a little trickier. This will definitely be a better look though. Get the bottom flush. Here, and then fasten with our 4 screws. So this here is just a sped up video here, putting all these panels together. It's just 1 inch treated deck screws. Picked them up from Menards. They're about $6 roughly a box, $6, $7, something like that.
I use these for all the side panels. That way they don't poke out the back side of the panels. And this is just kind of test fitting things together here, see if I liked how it was going together. And I'm not a fan of, I started out putting the screws on the outside with the trim pieces, didn't like it. I had to take those back out and rip a few more replacement pieces because I didn't like the screws on the outside. But this is just a process, running them through the inside and getting these 4 panels put together and ready for final assembly. Again, cedars, it's easy to work with and it's very forgiving. Being planter boxes, you got a lot of wiggle room here. So there you go.
All right, here we go. Flip those 2 around, we're good. Now, the easiest way to do this is to cut a piece, a couple scrap pieces, 4 3/8, because that will be the difference here on each side is 4 3/8. Puts this right on the center. So, what we can do, get everything lined up here, hold this in place, and then flip her over. Like so. Then you can get it, make sure it's snug down to the bottom here against those spacers. And if you want, you can mark this. This is a little tricky here. You could measure this distance here and here and split the middle, and then you've got an actual line to follow for your screws. And you really don't need 4 here, but probably a little overkill, but the more the merrier. Again, make sure your screws don't, if you drive them too deep, they'll poke out on this side and just be a place to catch your finger on and cut you. But there you go. Throw this over here and we can continue. I do have to cut some new ones. These did come off of the ones I screwed up on the other piece. But there you go, that just gives you perfect center. A little tricky here to flip her over, put a little pressure on the 2 of them so you don't fall out. And there you go. Alright, so what we are doing here is we are going to fasten the sides together with 1 1/4 inch deck screws, and I will be pre-drilling with, since I've broken most of my small bits, we will be just taking the 3/32, I suppose, for the time being. But I like pre-drilling these because they are thinner and they will crack and split. And at this point is where you will see what's going on here now. Now I did this the easy way, so we will have looks like a unfinished edge where these corners don't meet up. Because all I'm going to do is once I assemble this, I'm going to hit them with a real heavy coarse grit sandpaper on my orbital sander. This way, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, I suppose. The next one I make, I will add this width also, because this way they don't have to be absolutely perfect for this corner to meet. But the next one, we will change that and see how I like it. So what we're going to do now is just make sure the top is flush. And this is where your screws will be exposed. You know, there's other ways to go about this to hide the screws. We could put a piece on the inside here, like so, and actually like an angle piece and then screw through here. But because my planter is almost exactly the size of this opening on the inside, I don't have room up here for that. It's a little tricky to hold all this together. That way, I'll get my 3 screws in here. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the exposed screws. But once this starts to patina and weather, they won't be as noticeable. And this is just the first design on this. I will be designing some different ones, see if we can't come up with a better solution. So if anybody watching this has some better ideas how we can dress this up and hide all the fasteners and still make this a fairly quick and easy build, please put it in the comments below and let me know. I know there's a better way to do it, and we'll figure something out. Once we get to here, we could get fancy and lay it on its back like so. And you could also, I'd imagine, we could probably put this together with brad nails. And I do have a brad nailer. I believe it's an 18 gauge brad nailer. We could just knock these together with your galvanized fasteners. We'll get this last one in here. From what I've read, you can't use electro-galvanized fasteners, but you can use hot-dipped. I don't know if they make hot-dipped fasteners for pneumatic nailers like that. I know they make them, obviously, for roofing coil nailers. They say the regular electroplating and the galvanized fasteners will rust fairly quickly. All right, so let's see how this works then. Oh, it's a little snug, but not horrible. All right.
And here we go, everybody's favorite part, sanding. Fortunately, this is a pretty quick and easy sanding session. Just a 60 grit sandpaper on the orbital sander, and obviously this can be done by hand or not done at all. This is just to knock down the corners and the sharp edges on the trim boards, just make it a little more user friendly when it's handled. So just sand to your heart's desire.
Alright, there you go. Doesn't have to be crazy, doesn't have to be super perfect. It just has to work. It's solid. I think it looks decent. And then we drop this guy in. Again, it doesn't fit absolutely perfect. There's a little bit of a gap, but it's because there's a profile to this planter box that I got. It just happened that this worked out. And what we can do, if you have a wider, just to give it a little bit of room to fit completely flush, if we were to put a little bit of a gap in here, probably just not even 1/8 of an inch, just a little gap on all these panels, and then obviously add that length to these pieces, you can make this to fit pretty much anything you need it to fit. That's it. Thanks for all the questions and reviews on the last one. And if you got anything to add, any suggestions, tips, tricks, anything I'm doing wrong, could do better, could do right, let me know. Be sure to subscribe and follow for more content, and let me know what you want to see. Let's see if we can't make some more things out of the cedar planks. They're cheap, easy to come by, literally thousands of them at some of these stores, Menards and Home Depot. Let's see if we can come up with some other projects, some stuff I haven't even thought of yet besides just planter boxes. I don't know. What else do you want to make? Let's put something together. Again, be sure to follow and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.